Hey guys, Adrian here for the Digital Dojos, and today I have a Mac tutorial for you guys, and this is all about speeding up your Mac. In light of OS 10 Lion may be coming out soon, Snow Leopard and Leopard are still great, OS 10 operating systems. I know some people who will be waiting before they upgrade to Lion. And if you still want to get, that old use out of your old Mac that's still running Snow Leopard or Leopard, and you still want to get that kick like when you first got it, then these are some tips for you. Now, obviously, if you want to get the best speed out of your Mac and you want to get it just like how it was when you first bought it, the best thing to do is probably reinstall Snow Leopard or whatever you have on your Mac. So in this case, I'm using a MacBook, and I'm going to show you some tweaks that you can do both on the Mac itself within system preferences and no third-party tools. And then after that, I'm going to show you third-party tools that I recommend you download and try out to help speed up your Mac. All right, first off, let's talk about stuff in system preferences or the Apple menu. You probably want to make sure always your Mac is up to date with the latest, version of OS 10 Snow Leopard or whatever version you're on. And then you want to go into your system preferences. I want to talk about some features in here that you probably may want to disable. Now, in system preferences, you have a look at all your stuff. You can see personal hardware, internet, wireless, system, and other. And you want to turn off a lot of the stuff in here that you're not using. For example, if you don't use Spotlight, if you're not a fan of Spotlight, the search in the top right here, you can turn off a lot of these search results. That way, you don't your Mac isn't constantly caching or looking through these sections here, so that if you're not using Spotlight at all, then you probably can turn it off and uncheck a lot of those. Going back here, under let's see here, under internet and wireless, you want to disable Bluetooth if you don't have a keyboard or mouse that you're using. In this case, I'm not using my keyboard and mouse right now, so I have Bluetooth off. That also saves battery life. Under sharing, disable all of these sharing things right here that you do not use. If you don't use Bluetooth sharing, if you don't use file sharing or DVD or CD sharing, turn them off, because otherwise, again, it's just another service that's running. In my case, I don't use any of these, so I turned them all off. Alright, moving on here. Under systems, if you don't use stuff under universal access, you can turn off a couple of these features like voiceover, zoom, etc. Again, that's all depending on your personal preference. Going into accounts here, go to your main admin account and go under login items, and you'll see all the applications that are starting with your Mac. I already went out and took out a lot of the applications that started. You'll mainly see stuff like Skype in here, Synergy if you use Synergy, f.lux or Flux. So to hide an application when you log in, you can simply click the check and it will hide the application. It won't show it pop up or anything like that. Now if you want to completely remove it, you want to hit this minus button right here, and I'll take it off. It'll delete the selected item that you have on your startup. So for my example, I only have AirMouse server here running, Air Display, startup item, or status. I don't really need AirMouse running because I don't use it right away, so I can go ahead and take that out. Now let's say I want to add something like Skype. I can click this plus button and I can go through my applications folder, and I can add something like Tweety to startup. I can add Skype, I can add Shrook or Snooty, whatever I want to add right when I boot up. Again, you probably want to go out and take a lot of majority of the applications that you really do not use as soon as your Mac starts up. So that's under your account settings. Alright, so that's all can be done in system preferences. Now things you want to do kind of file maintenance wise to keep it running efficiently. Probably keep your desktop clean. Don't keep it cluttered so your Mac doesn't have to load it as soon as you load your when you first boot up your Mac. Also, you probably want to go in Finder every now and then and just kind of weed out all the files that that are old videos, stuff like that. Delete them, obviously. Clean out your recycle bin every now and then. And even looking at your dashboard here, take out widgets that you're not using. A lot of people I've seen have tons and tons of widgets. If you just click this plus button here, you can actually delete your widgets that you don't really use. In my case, I only use my weather one, my calculator one, dictionary, and the calendar. And again, you can delete the ones you don't really use. So if you have stuff like ESPN tickers and Google searches and iTunes remotes, and you don't even use those, or even third-party ones, go ahead and take off those widgets because it's just taking up space and using RAM, etc. And it just makes it a little bit quicker when going into dashboard. And along the same point, along with spaces, if you don't use stuff like spaces or expose and stuff like that, go ahead and turn those off. Again, that's all under system preferences. You can go under you can deal with that under expose and spaces. You can enable them or disable them. So in this case, I'll disable it because I don't really use spaces that much. And now I won't have that hot corner when I go there. I won't enable spaces. Alright, so that's stuff you can do default on the Mac. Now a little bit about third-party applications. First one, I have a couple to talk about, and you can all download these. I'll leave this in the description below. Monolingual. This is one for removing unnecessary language resources from any version of OS 10 from Tiger to Snow Leopard. As you know, anytime an operating system installs, it comes bundled with all of these languages from Africans to Arabic to Japanese, Korean, Chinese, all these stuff that you probably don't need unless, again, obviously if you're in that country, then you may need it. So for example, I have Japanese and English on my Mac installed just because I live in Japan and I do go to some sites that may have Japanese on it sometimes, and I may need to, be able to see that obviously, or an application that may have Japanese. So I might need to use that, and you can just install the languages you mainly need. Obviously, I'm only using my main one is English. That's the main one you probably want to keep. Again, depending on what language you speak and or read. Okay, so monolingual, that will weed out all the all the language packages that you do not really use. Another one's called iDefrag. Now this is really if you know what defragging your disk, basically it takes all the it will show you a look at your disk, your hard drive, and it will show you all the files are kind of fragmented or spaced out individual files, and defragging will essentially push them all together so that when reading the disk, it's much easier to read because there's not so many gaps within the disk. And in this case, I'm not using it because I use an SSD on my Mac, so not saying that you don't have to defrag SSDs, but it's just not as common on a traditional hard drive. Alright, next one I want to talk about is secrets. You can download this at secrets.blacktree.com, and you can get all these different tweaks here. Secrets allows you to access hidden settings for your OS X. Now, once you have it installed, you can install it at the site right here. You go ahead and go into System Preferences, and you'll see a little menu down here under Other called Secrets. Now, there's a lot of different things you can edit in here dealing with hidden settings that you won't naturally see in System Preferences, but the main two I want to really quickly mention in this video. Under System, you want to make sure Beam Sync is turned on automatic, or you just want to make sure it's not disabled. So you want to turn it to automatic. And another one is Quartz 2D Extreme Enabled. You probably want to make sure that's enabled. That will just help with stuff like loading Flash and stuff like that. So if you're using a Mac and these options are disabled, make sure you turn Beam Sync and Quartz 2D Extreme Enabled. Just make sure those are checked and or set to automatic. There's a whole bunch of different other settings you can go through this menu right here, but again, that's for a whole nother video. Alright, another great one is called Grand Perspective. Now this will show you it'll show you graphically all your disk usage within your file system or your hard drive. That way you can see which files are taking off your most space. So you can see here these files are probably bigger files compared to these. It'll show you videos, movies, applications. It'll show you what are taking up the most space on your hard drive. That way you can get a perspective of what files you need to delete. You may need to move to an external, or vice versa, etc. Alright, moving on. XSlimmer. XSlimmer is a really great app. Now this one is paid. It's the only one out of these applications that are paid. You can try a free trial. XSlimmer, what it allows you to do is it allows you to take an application and put it on a diet. So you can drag the application into XSlimmer, and what it will do is it will take out all those extra files within an application that you do not need. For example, if you have something like GarageBand or Firefox, it's going to take out all those features that you don't use within those applications. So iTunes, for example, if you don't use all the various languages within iTunes, like I was mentioning earlier, if you only use English on iTunes, it'll take out all those 30 extra languages that you don't use on iTunes, and it'll save you a good amount of disk space. It's going to tell you the current size, and it's going to tell you the projected size after you slim it down using XSlimmer. Very useful app. Again, it's $15, but it's well worth it if you're looking to save a lot of disk space. You can you can see here it shows you how to take something like 537 megabyte GarageBand and slim it down to 156 megabytes, which is about 71%. And you can just read other examples here. Again, guys, these are all free apps except for XSlimmer. These are just some quick tips to keeping your Mac running efficiently and running it fast, and just tweaking it so that you get optimal performance. Anyways, guys, I'm Adrian here for the Digital Dojos. Don't forget to check out our website at digitaldojos.com for more content, Mac and Windows related. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next video.